What's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist and Technically doing a Blue Eyes White Dragon deck profile. So I'm really excited to do some for you guys because this deck is an extremely nostalgic deck that's currently one of the best decks to play. So without further ado, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell there so you can become part of the notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below for all those awesome rewards. So without further ado, let's get straight on into this. So first off, we're playing 2 copies of the Blue Eyes White Dragon. This card is an extremely nostalgic boss monster that's a key card in all of our combos, and it's so cool to base a deck around this extremely nostalgic card. We then play a single copy of the Blue Eyes Jet Dragon. Blue Eyes Jet Dragon is my favorite Blue Eyes card in the entire game, and definitely comment down below what your favorite Blue Eyes card is as well. But this card is an awesome card because it helps you protect your other cards from being destroyed by your opponent's card effects. We then play 3 copies of Sage with Eyes of Blue. Sage is definitely a 3-of in the build because this card is an awesome ability that when this card is normal summon, you can actually add a level 1 light tuner from your deck to your hand, except another copy of this card, which is an amazing effect because it's not a once per turn, which does come up with your copy of Mausoleum, giving you an additional normal summon of a level 1 light tuner monster. This card also has the ability that you can discard this card to target an effect monster that you control, send it to the grave, and if you special summon a Blue Eyes monster from your deck, but you can only use that effect once per turn. We then play 3 copies of Maiden of White. Maiden of White is definitely a 3-of in the build, and a card you always want to search off your copy of Sage if you don't have it. As this card is the ability you can actually send this card from your hand or field to the graveyard to place a copy of True Light from your hand, deck, or graveyard face up in your spell and trap card zone. And if this card, or if a Blue Eyes White Dragon is special summoned while this card's in the graveyard, you can actually special summon this card, instantly bring it out to your side of the field, so you can go in for some synchro plays, which is so cool. We then play 3 copies of the Primite Dragon. Primite Dragon is definitely a 3-of in the build, and this card is extremely powerful in the deck. Besides Sage, this card is the best normal summon in the entire build, as if this card is normal summon, you can actually set a Primite spell or trap directly from your deck to your side of the field, which is a great effect to instantly get your copy of Lordly Load, Drill Beam, or even a copy of Primite Fusion. We then play a single copy of Magnemite. Magnemite is really good as a 1-of in the build, as this card lets you target a light or dark monster in either player's grave and banish it if you special summon this card from your hand. It's a quick effect if your opponent controls a monster. And if this card is special summoned, you can activate this effect that during the end phase of this turn, you get to add a dragon monster from your deck or graveyard to your hand, which can be a copy of the Primite Dragon or can be a copy of Druid's Worm. Druid's Worm is great to play in this deck, as this card is an amazing card that helps you spot remove cards off the field, and also it's a great seals target. We then play 3 copies of Ash Blossom. Ash Blossom's definitely a 3-of in the build to basically just stop your opponent from touching the deck. We then play 3 copies of Droll. Droll is an amazing 3-of as well to basically just stop your opponent from searching for the rest of the turn. We then play 3 copies of Fluros. Fluros is great as a 3-of in the build to basically just help us dig in the deck for the exact cards that we need. We then play 2 copies of Nibiru. Nibiru is really powerful in this build to basically just break your opponent's board. Plus, in this deck, it's super easy to out a Nibiru token. We then play a single copy of Effect Veiler. Effect Veiler is searchable in this deck, which is why we just play a single copy, because you can search it off your copy of Wishes or Sage, making this card an amazing 1-of the build to stop your opponent's monster effects. So, that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get into the spells. So for the spells, we're going to start with a single copy of Roar of the Blue-Eyed Dragons. Roar is definitely a 1-of in the build, as this card lets you special summon in defense position a Blue Eyes monster from your deck, grave, or banishment. But if you don't control a Blue Eyes White Dragon, you can only special summon Blue Eyes White Dragon with this effect. Also, you cannot special summon the X deck for the rest of the turn, except for dragon monsters. Only a single copy of Mausoleum. Mausoleum is definitely a 1-of in the build because this card is searchable off our Blue Eyes Link 1. When this card is revealed during your main phase, you can normal summon a level 1 light tuner in addition to your normal summoner set, which is a great ability to instantly bring out your copy of Sage to your side of the field. This card also has an insane ability to basically Foolish Reel a Blue Eyes directly from your deck to the graveyard, so you can bring it back later with your copy of True Light. We then a single copy of Primite Fusion. Primite Fusion fixes so many problems the deck has because this card helps you recycle your copies of Blue Eyes if they do get banished by something like a copy of a Bestial monster, by also summoning out an awesome new boss monster, the Primite Dragon Fusion monster, which is such a powerful card to summon off your copy of Primite Fusion, as this card has the ability to fusion summon one Dragon Fusion monster from your extract by shuffling its materials from the field, grave, and/or banishment into the deck, including a normal monster, which is such a powerful ability to help us recycle our copies of Blue Eyes that might get banished. With my single copy of Drill Beam. Drill Beam is amazing as a 1-of in the build. To basically just use this card as a negate and a banish, and also it can easily put itself back on your side of the field. We then play 3 copies of Lordly Load. Lordly Load is an amazing 3-of in the build, as when this card is activated, you actually get to add a copy of a Primite card from your deck to your hand, except another copy of this card. You can also declare one normal monster card's name, and then special summon one of the declared normal monsters from your hand, deck, or grave in defense, helping you bring out a copy of Blue Eyes directly to your side of the field. We then play 3 copies of Wishes. Wishes is an amazing 3-of in the build, as you can actually discard a card to add a level 1 tuner from your deck to your hand, and a spell or trap card that mentions Blue Eyes White Dragon from your deck to your hand, which is such a powerful effect to instantly grab the exact card you need, as this card can even search out Veiler, which is so cool. This card also has the ability you can actually banish this card from the graveyard, target a Blue Eyes White Dragon control, and equip a Blue Eyes monster from your extract to it as an equip spell that gives it 400 attack points, which is an amazing effect to equip your copy of Neo Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon to a Blue Eyes White Dragon, so we can actually tribute it to summon out Tyrant Dragon, which is so cool, so we can go in for game. So that's it for the spells, guys. Let's get in to the traps. So for the traps, we're going to start with a single copy of True Light. True Light is definitely a 1-of in the build because you can easily get to this card with your copy of Maiden. When this card is the ability, your opponent cannot target Blue Eyes White Dragon in your monster zone with card effects, and in this phase the card is sent from the spell and trap card zone to the graveyard, destroy all monsters that you control. This card also has the ability you can activate one of these effects per turn that you can either special summon a Blue Eyes White Dragon from your hand to the graveyard, or set a spell or trap directly from your deck that specifically lists the Blue Eyes White Dragon in its text with a different name from cards you control and in your graveyard. We then play a single copy of Majesty of the White Dragons. Majesty is great to help you pop 2 cards on the field, and definitely a 1-of in the build, as you can easily get to this card with your copy of True Light. We then play 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence. Infinite Impermanence is an amazing 3-of in the build to basically just use this card to stop your opponent's monster effects and also lock down entire columns of spells and traps. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, we're going to start with a single copy of the new Primite Fusion monster. This card is amazing and the build is a 1-of because it has the ability, it just requires a Primate monster plus 1+ normal monster, meaning you can actually use 2 Blue Eyes White Dragons plus a copy of your Primite Dragon in the main deck to make this card. And this card gains 1,000 attack for each normal monster used for its fusion summon, meaning if you use 2 Blue Eyes White Dragons to make this card, it comes out at 3,600, which is massive. It also negates the activated effects of monsters your opponent controls with the levels, ranks, or link ratings less than this card equal to the number of normal monsters on the field and in the graveyard, which is a pretty powerful effect, so you can actually use it for 2, which is pretty cool. And if this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can actually special summon a normal monster from the deck in defense position, helping you bring out a copy of Blue Eyes White Dragon, which is really cool. This card replaces itself. Then we see a copy of Neo Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. This card is for your copy of Wishes, so you can basically equip this card to a copy of a Blue Eyes White Dragon and bring out your copy of Blue Eyes Tyrant Dragon, but we're never actually summoning out our copy of Neo. This card is great to be able to play in the deck because this card can attack all monsters your opponent controls and it helps you get a trap card back to your side of the field, which is really cool. But it must either be fusion summoned or special summoned from your X deck by treating a Blue Eyes White Dragon equipped to the fusion monster which Wishes helps us out with. We then play 2 copies of Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon. Spirit Dragon is definitely a 2-of in the build because this card can tag itself out for all sorts of different light dragon synchro monsters, and this card can also negate cards that are in the graveyard, which is so cool. We then play a single copy of Azure Eyes Silver Dragon. Azure Eyes is an amazing 1-of in the build because if this card is special summoned, until the end of the next turn, neither player can target dragon monsters you currently control with card effects, and also they cannot be destroyed by card effects. And once per turn, during your standby phase, you can actually target a normal monster in the grave and special summon it, helping us bring Blue Eyes back to our side of the field. We then play a single copy of Black Rose Moonlight Dragon. Black Rose Moonlight Dragon helps out a lot in this deck to basically just deal with level 5 or higher monsters, which is going to be insane to deal with K9. We then play a single copy of Ancient Fairy Life Dragon. This card is amazing because it can actually attack while it's in defense position, which is so important for this deck to be able to do. As your copy of Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon special summons the monster out to your side of the field in defense position, and this card can help you close out games because it has 3300 defense and is basically a super heavy samurai. As you can attack while it's in defense, applying its defense points, which is super cool, and I love that about this card. This card is so cool to be able to play in the deck, and it's a really good 1-of to help you just close out games. And lay a single copy of Lightstorm Dragon. Lightstorm Dragon is absolutely crazy because this card can just deal with your opponent's back row. And lay a single copy of Blue Eyes Ultimate Spirit Dragon. Blue Eyes Ultimate Spirit Dragon is great in this deck and super cool for this particular build, and one of my favorite synchro monsters for its artwork alone. But this card is amazing because your opponent cannot banish cards from your graveyard, which is such a powerful effect, and also this card is a walking negate. And if this card is destroyed by battle or by card effect, you can actually special summon a light dragon monster in your graveyard, except another copy of this card, which is such a cool effect. We then play a single copy of Snake Eyes Vengeance Dragon. Now this card is extremely interesting in this deck, because this card has the ability that during the main phase quick effect, you can target a face-up monster on the field or in either player's grave and place it face-up in its owner's spell and trap card zone as a continuous spell card. Also, this card cannot be used, you cannot use this effect during the next turn, and also during the battle phase quick effect, you can actually target one monster and one continuous spell in the field and destroy them, which is a really cool ability. But this card is amazing in this deck, and actually very easy to summon. We then play 2 copies of Erratic Seals. Seals is great as a 2-of in the build because this card helps you basically spin a monster off the field while also summoning a monster directly from our deck to our side of the field, making this card a definite 2-of in the deck. We then play 2 copies of Spirit with Eyes of Blue. Spirit is really good in the deck as a 2-of because this card has an amazing ability to instantly get to your copy of Mausoleum, and also you can tribute this card to special summon a Blue Eyes monster from the hand or the graveyard, which is a really cool ability to instantly bring it out to your side of the field. So, that's it for the deck, guys. I hope you enjoyed. This deck is super fun to be able to play. If you guys have never played a Blue Eyes White Dragon deck, you should definitely give this deck a try, especially with the new Primite Fusion monster, which changes this deck so much, and it's such a cool card. So, that's gonna be this one, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell in there so you can become part of the notification squad, and we'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.